What is up, and welcome back to another episode of So There's That. I am your hostess, doing the mostest, Kivanshi. I'm also doing laundry, so if you hear some noise and some singing of the washing machines in the background, listen, I got a lot going on, y'all. I got all of these videos out. Got a vacation coming up, so I need to make sure that I still get this information to you all while in my real everyday life I'm literally enjoying my vacances. So with that being said, y'all, found season 2 episode 13, Missing While Grieving. Yo, oh my goodness. Okay, the writer of this episode is Jennifer A. King, and it's directed by Kelli Williams, our one and only Margaret, whom we love so much, even though sometimes she's the auntie that be getting on our nerves. We love her so much. The cinematographer for this episode is Michael Karasick, with a guest star of Willie C. Carpenter, who is amazing. I was so excited to see him on this episode for the case. So for this episode and probably the rest of the season, the way I'm going to be doing my recap is going to be a little bit different. And it's going to be different because there's so much happening right now. I really need to like break up the different storylines that are happening within one episode. So moving forward, unless something changes, I'm going to be grouping situations. So you're not going to get it in any type of like chronological order. I'm going to try to still keep it as, what's the word I'm looking for? Logical. Like I'm going to try to keep the sequence as logical as I can. But it's so much happening. I just can't be doing the back and forth, even within the current timelines. So, you know, just bear with me. Bear with me. I'm not gonna sing. I was singing all in that last episode. Okay, so we open up this episode, y'all. Sir is in jail. For real, I thought that was playing. I'm not even gonna hold you. I did not think Sir would be in jail. Like, I know he has the crimes to be held, but I just feel like he is above the law. Like, if there's any villain that I want to just be breaking out all the time, it's Sir. I don't care if it's a ridiculous storyline. Like, I would love for Sir to never be in jail. Do not catch him. I'm absolutely rooting for the bad guy. It is what it is. But we're gonna talk about Gabi. So right now, everything that I'm talking about is centered around Gabi and just certain things that she's feeling and certain things that she's going through. And then we're gonna get into the rest, y'all, because this is crazy. So Gabi, girl, she's all like, oh, I know Sir is up to something and he won't let me pay my penance because I did wrong. I kidnapped and I should be in jail and he got me out and now I'm stuck with this guilt. And I'm like, girl, this is a get out of jail free card. Like, who plays Monopoly and cries that they pulled a get out of jail free card? Relax. Like, the obsession with Sir, we really see at the opening of this episode is like they have a, while different, there's like a mutual obsession with each other, and he's been a part of her life for so long that of course it's definitely hard to get out of this cycle of it, and you're constantly thinking like, what's his motive and all these other things, and like, for the first time I can't predict his next moves. And it's like, he's in jail, girl, let him be in jail. Allow yourself the space to mentally and emotionally move on. Otherwise, what are we doing? You know what I mean? So with this case, I'm only going to briefly touch on this case because the case involves somebody who helped her seek solace and therapy after her kidnapping. So it's Bernie. Bernie's wife was her therapist before she ever met Gina and Bella, but it was Bernie, through his faith and everything, that really got her holding on. So you get to see in this whole episode where more of a connection of when she was kidnapped is showing up outside of the flashback episodes that we saw and outside of everything that was with Sir. So we get to meet someone else in her life who also was rooting for her safety and for her well-being, and this case becomes so personal. But I also think it was just very, very beautiful to see that when her father let her down, other people stepped up and filled as much as they could of the void in helping her recover from being kidnapped. So I really like that in this case. Now, one of the things that I am questioning so bad is Trent's instincts as a cop. Like, Trent is so trash. We are just singularly focused on Christian, and a part of it made me question because he looks up to his dad and stuff so much, and it made me think about all those cases that Sir brought up where his dad just didn't do it. And it's just like, Trent never digs deeper. He only looks at the surface and he takes things at face value. But as a detective, I never see Trent doing any of the investigative work. Now, I don't know if he's become lazy over time because M&A has been doing a lot of their investigative work outside of the red tape, or if he truly is as black and white as we've been seeing him so far. Everything points to Christian. It's Christian, it's Christian, it's Christian. But we've seen enough true crime shows to know that people have been put behind bars based on surface level things because nobody is questioning why this case is this easy. Why after all this time searching for Sir and all this other stuff is now his brother, who y'all just found out about, being handed on a silver platter. This don't make no sense to you? And yet he's trying to tell Gabi, no, it's him. No, stop thinking like he's a good guy. And she's like, I didn't say all that. But I'm gonna need you to like start connecting some dots. And he's not. And so I also wonder, like, did you get this from your dad? Like, I don't know, something about the way that he does not investigate these crimes just feels like a fatal flaw in his cases as well. So I don't know, y'all might want to dig into some of the people that he arrested without M&A's help, because this is wild to me. I don't understand how he is a detective, but I digress. So Sir, what did I wrote up in this? So yeah, so Trent is still so much on the Sir train that he goes to Sir and was just like, yeah, we got him and we found this and all this other stuff, and Sir just laughs in his face and he was like, Trent, Christian would never do any of these things. We're talking about the boy who turned into a man that's still scared of A, B, C, D, and E. Like, you're literally barking up the wrong tree. And that's when Trent was like, well, Christian, he's escalated all of his advances for Gabi, and he shot a civilian. And Trent didn't say who he shot, but Sir kind of like reacts to it in the face and then kind of relaxes and is just like, whatever, you don't even know what you're talking about. And so his reaction again is making me think Heather is on his side, but also that the plan is now not going the way that it was supposed to go based off Sir's reaction. I don't know, y'all tell me in the comments. Okay, now during this time of Gabi still being one of the main ones being like, this don't even sound like Christian, like this whole thing feels off, Christian ends up texting Gabi and he's like, look, I did not do this, we need to find a way to meet up. And Gabi tells Lacey, and Lacey was like, you don't think he's an accomplice anymore? And she was like, no, like the trail is too clean. And I'm with her on this. Like, I thought for maybe a couple of seconds Christian could have been the accomplice, and this was before the winter break. Since the winter break, I just don't believe that it's Christian. And like everybody pointed out, he was already knocked out cold in the RV. How did he shoot Heather? How? With what gun? Because didn't Sir leave with the weapon? Like, what are we doing? So if Heather ended up going to Trent's house, like off screen and stuff that we haven't seen, then she also could have had access to the service weapon that was stolen by Sir from Trent's house that night that they got into like a whole little scuffle or whatever. So I don't know, who knows. Anyways, things come to a little bit of a halt when Gabi finds out that somebody not only broke into her house, but they went to the room that only Margaret knows about. And it's where she keeps the pictures of the people that she didn't find. And she sees her picture up on the wall. Now, it's not framed like the rest of the photos. It's actually a really nice like metallic frame. Nice flush edges and everything like that. I really, really love it. But that's besides the point. And who come in? Trent. so this is where you keep the ones. Get out! Get out! Don't you got a girlfriend? Didn't she get shot? Ain't she in the hospital acting like she got shot in the heart and then nicked the artery or something, and then they finished the bleed? Like, don't you got somebody in there that's being a whole hypochondriac? Like, why are you here? I don't understand. Trent, go away. So Trent's like, okay, we could take it, we could dust for prints, but you know, it's Christian. He's broken into your house before, he's broken into it again. And she's just like, okay, dude, whatever. Like, I literally have a whole case to solve and I just don't have time for this. But this whole thing is getting to Gabi because Trent is making her doubt herself, as if like, okay, not only in this case could I be wrong, but everybody's telling me like I'm wrong about the case and that my friend who helped me get my life together is not innocent. And Trent constantly down my throat about Christian, even though it doesn't feel right. You know, then I'm wrong. And so Gabi is literally going through this, questioning herself and questioning everything. And it's kind of putting a hiccup not only in the case to find Christian or even the whole Sir situation, but it's putting a hiccup in the case that she's actually trying to solve with M&A as well. And I don't like that. I don't like that. Stop putting your self-doubt into my girl. She don't need this, okay? Now, Gabi brings this information to Margaret because, you know, they're over here, they're talking about the whole Jamie situation a little bit. And Margaret's like, time out. And I just love that Margaret is back kind of to herself because she reminds Gabi, I may be able to read people and that's my superpower, but Gabi, your instincts are never wrong. Do you know the reason I don't bring Jamie around you? Because I'm afraid that whatever it is that you feel will be true because you are always right in your instincts. And because you are always right, and I will bring him around you at some point, I'm just not ready, but because you are always right, your instincts are your superpower. You notice everything. You feel it in your gut, and everything in your gut constantly steers us into the right locations. It may take some time, but you never steer us wrong. Even when you're sharing your ideas and we're sharing the opposite ideas as well. And I love that Margaret was the one to kind of pour this back into her. And Margaret is the perfect person because Margaret also went through this period of self-doubt as if Gabi was the one who broke her superpowers and being able to read people. So she, of all people, understands how deep that feels when everybody is, when an event happens. When an event happens and now you feel like you can't even trust your own thoughts. So I really love that, and I just love all the scenes with Gabi and Margaret specifically in this episode. So Gabi goes and confronts Trent again, and she's like, listen, I know you're trying to tell me it's Christian, but it's literally not. Like, this is too perfect. It's literally like the cookie crumbs are being left out, leading y'all dumbasses to the trail of Christian. And that's when she kind of realizes, like, wait a minute, what if it's not a message for me saying that I'm going to be missing, but the fact that you found his prints on his picture frame, what is that a message to me saying that Christian is actually in danger? So she runs off to see Sir because she's like, hey, listen, we need to find your brother. And Sir's like, okay, well, I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine. And she's like, listen, bro, I'm not even about to be playing these games. So you know what? You don't want to tell me where he is? I'm going to go back out there and I'll figure it out on my own. And he ends up like throwing out some stuff because he's been following the case as well while in jail. He throws out some information. It was kind of vague, but it was specific enough for Gabi to take it and kind of run with the theory. But it wasn't like super specific to where it's like, oh, Gabi's taking Sir's help again with the case. But she still didn't cave in to the demand that he wanted. And so she still has no idea where Christian is. Okay, well, Trent went to go see Sir and gave into his demands, and all he wanted was a book. Why he wanted the book, I don't know. But what ended up happening was he told Trent where Christian was, and when Gabi got the phone call from Trent that they found Christian, well, the phone call did not go well because Christian was found deceased. So Sir is sitting there looking shook, almost as if he didn't believe her in a way. And she's just like, if you would have told me where he was, we probably could have prevented this, but you didn't, and you constantly playing games. So you know what? I'm done. I'm not playing these games anymore. I'm done with you. Do not think about me. Forget that I ever existed. And she walked out. Y'all, not my Amazon Echo show randomly playing a TV show. I thought some people was outside this window yelling. No, it's my show over there doing the most. Like, now I gotta sage the place or whatever. But anyways, we're moving on to Margaret and Jamie. Okay, this whole episode, heavy flashbacks to when Jamie went missing. But what I love about this episode and the flashbacks is we finally find out how and why Margaret developed what we all call Margaret vision. I'm calling it WandaVision, because she done came back stronger than ever, girl. But now we know why. So one of the biggest reasons as why she's so keen on reading people and figuring and trying to see what's what and who's lying and who's telling the truth and looking at the things and finding the cracks between the cracks is because when she was asked by the police what color shoes her son was wearing, she said it was like his blue and white Converse. But Taylor, young Taylor, was like, no, it was his red boots and blah, blah, blah. And she was so devastated. And she was like, if I already forgot what he was wearing, how will they even know what to look for? I can't even trust that I can tell them what my son was wearing. Was I paying attention enough? Was I doing enough? Oh my God, I'm a bad mother. And so this kind of sent her spiraling into paying so much attention to everything else, but not in a good way, to the point where you're neglecting your other kids. Now let's talk about it. We only met Taylor. We only see Taylor in a flashback, but in one of the scenes the husband was like, your daughters need you. And I was like, she got how many kids she got? I don't remember this, y'all tell me, because I thought Margaret only had 2 kids. I did not know that there were potential like 2 daughters, 2 or more daughters. Didn't know nothing about that. So I don't know, that shocked me, because even still the dad would come into the room and be like, Taylor wants this, your daughters need you, Taylor wants this. And it's like, does Taylor have an imaginary friend that we're calling another daughter? I'm confused, because they never mentioned the other kid by name. So I don't know, that's like a continuity thing for me that kind of stood out this episode, but it is what it is. I digress. Maybe I just didn't listen in season 1, I don't know. But with all of this in the current times, like, Jamie is looking real suspect. You over here trying to read all the people of M&A, you constantly asking about Gabi every chance that you get. Where is Gabi? Why is Gabi mysteriously not here? And all these other things. So it's like, Jamie, who is you? Who is you? Are you the feds? You the ops? Are you here working for Sir? Like, what is actually going on? And Margaret, because she's refusing to truly put her powers to the test, she just wants to sit in this. You don't really see a lot of investigation from her. She's trying to get him to talk and open up and things, but he keeps shutting down, or he'll walk away, and she has to keep telling herself, okay, he's gonna come back, he's gonna come back, he's gonna come back. And so just being overwhelmed by it all, I can definitely understand why she's not trying to push or investigate or have everybody kind of all in that space, because she probably also has doubts herself. But the mere presence of somebody saying, hi, I'm Jamie, I'm your lost kid, it's like, how do you focus on any other feelings? So I definitely understand all of that. So Gabi was finally around Jamie for a little bit. He was asleep, and she went to go put his jacket on him because he was kind of curled up on the couch when a brooch fell out of his pocket. And there was at one point in the episode he was snooping around one of the locations where the crime was, and so this was something that fell out. And Margaret was like, you know, are you checking his stuff? She's like, I'm not, he looks cold, but this thing fell out, so check his other pockets. And then when she reached into the pocket and she found the truck. And then she was just like, oh, you know, nothing, it is what it is. And so he wakes up, and Margaret is like, you know, how could you steal or anything like that? And what ended up happening, I think I said this a little bit backwards. So yeah, she told Margaret to check the pockets, and she found the toy train. So in the flashback, in one of the flashbacks that we see, she's changed the color of the shoes on the missing flyer, and she typed in the red shoes. And when she was done typing, this same little toy train car she puts next to the desk on the computer. And the train toy car that she found in his pocket was the exact same one. If he was kidnapped and that train was there after he was already kidnapped, how did he get this toy train? So that leads us to believe and to draw a reasonable conclusion that this might be the real Jamie. But it leads us down a darker path. Who in the hell went into her house and got him this toy train? Whoo! Child. My thoughts. Okay. So there's that on this episode, Missing While Grieving. Those are the big storylines here for this episode. Gabi, Margaret, and Jamie. The big thing with Margaret is finding out in the split second that this was not a random kidnapping, and that somebody you know, somebody you trust, potentially somebody you love, took your son. Just even in this moment, she didn't say anything, but we as an audience can see, like, there's no other way for him to get it. Obviously, Jamie didn't come back and get this car, so who got it? My thoughts, I don't know, because the husband and her got divorced a little bit after. My thoughts, and I'm gonna make some leaps and bounds, baby. I'm jumping to all types of conclusions, okay? Call me Simone Biles, baby. I'm about to flip and twist up in the air. I'm gonna land on, I think the dad was having an affair, and I think whoever he was having an affair with took him, and I think the dad didn't want to be with the mom anymore anyway, with Margaret. And I think that Margaret's husband had something to do with this kidnapping. I ain't gonna even hold y'all. And with the found writers, I'm not putting nothing past them. Like, I'm not putting it past you. If it seems a bit soap opera-y, oh well. Like, I don't know what to tell you. But I just feel like the father has something to do with it, because Jamie's not talking at all. Yes, you were kidnapped, but you're not really acting like you were unloved. You were taken care of and you were loved. So this tells me that Jamie knows exactly who it was and trusted them, and was probably fed some information to why he was never able to go back to his mom in the first place. So I don't know if Margaret got a sister or something, but I just feel like it's a family member who took Jamie. Otherwise, his behavior doesn't make any sense if it was a stranger. He wouldn't be so guarded or feeling like he's protecting his own kidnappers. Like, that's crazy to me. That's what I think. I think it's somebody he related to, but y'all tell me. Trent. I hate Trent so much. I already talked about his police work, but it was something in here when Gabi was like, okay, you don't have no warrant for Bernie's arrest, and he's just like, well, who is he to you? And Gabi tells him who he is, and it's just like, Trent wants to be Gabi's only. And the parallels between Trent and Sir are not lost on me. Sir is wholly obsessed with Gabrielle, wants all her attention. Trent wants to be the only person who's capable of saving Gabi. Like, you know you ain't got enough evidence to hold this man in question, but what she's just saying, she's trying to do her job as an M&A case, and then the first thing out your mouth is, who is he to you? Like, offended. Like, why are you going so hard for him? It wouldn't matter if she knew him or not. This is just basic rights of a human being. You don't have an arrest warrant, so let this man go. And so it's like we keep finding these episodes where Trent is asking and discovering all these other pieces of Gabi, and it's almost like a jealousy thing. So it's just like the two men in Gabi's life are like two of the worst possible mofos that she could ever have anybody setting their eyes on her. Trent is garbage. Sir is garbage. And to me, they're two, what do they call it? Two sides of the same coin. They're two sides of the same coin. to me. And Trent is just a little bit more heavy boots. I guess that's all I can say. Like, Trent just don't be doing no type of deep thinking whatsoever. Everything with him is on the surface, very shallow. And so yeah, I'm just really needing Gabi to like not fuck with him no more, because I'm over it. Gabi, so in this episode she told Sir she's done, she's not doing it no more, she ain't playing these games, and she goes back home and she starts pulling specific books off her shelf. And in this moment I was like, he is still the teacher that she loved. A part of Mr. Evans was kept in her house. She was keeping a piece of the man who helped her interest in literature thrive. And I don't think we knew that before. Like, obviously we knew when he believed certain books and stuff in her company and everything, like she recognized it. But she didn't just throw away all her books and was just like, oh, the books remind me of like English class. She was throwing away specific things, which we get deeper into. It's not so much as the kidnapping and trying to get revenge or whatever it is, and the father dying and blaming him. But you held on to the softest parts of your kidnapper. You held on to the parts of him that made you happy once upon a time. So it's like Gabi would have never been rid of Sir even if he died, because you kept him in your house even if he wasn't physically there. And that reveals a lot, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, we're gonna wrap up this episode. Okay, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave comments in the comment box below. If you got people that like to hear it on the go, make sure you share that Spotify link as well as the Apple Podcast. And as always, follow me on Instagram at So There's That Podcast, as well as on Twitter and Blue Sky Social at Kivanchi. Y'all, tell me what you think in these comments. I'm so curious to know your thought process. And again, like I said, I apologize if I have to kind of reformat how I'm doing the recap, but it's just too much going on, too many flashbacks, too many back and forth, and too many storylines for me to like keep jumping all over the place. So I just want to consolidate each group and then give it to you that way in hopefully a more cohesive manner. It's more cohesive in my brain as I take notes about it, so I hope that it comes off that way. But you know, open to feedback, you know what I'm saying. And with that, I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one.